All right. Hello. Welcome back to It's New. We're trying to keep Morty away, so hopefully he won't show up. I'm trying to block every attempt for him to get into this show.
Rightfully so.
He usually has a way of getting in sometimes. So sometimes when Morty, when we block him, he gets in. But hopefully he won't. Oh, how do you get in? I don't want you here.
Got it.
So if you're like, SEO Roundtable gets hacked all the time. No, I'm just.
It's a problem. It's especially with AI out there. It's like it's getting hacked every other day. So. Anyway, I'd say welcome to the show, but we know the truth. Any event, I'll be covering Google publishing new AI, SEO, GEO, AEO tips, including some myth bustings, which is getting a lot of people really frazzled, as well as Google's new spam policies. They apply to AI as well. Greg, what do you got for us?
We are going to enhance your knowledge about primary conversion action and reporting.
Anu?
And Google is moving offline conversion imports out of the Google Ads API.
And Morty.
Will AI mode take over? SEO say. You have to wait. I'm not going to tell you now. Yeah.
Stay tuned till the end so you want to know what they say. And then subscribe and like and do all those things. And then hack Morty. All right. So Google published on a Friday afternoon. It's a new documentation called Optimizing Your Website for Generative AI Features on Google Search. The document covers pretty much a lot of things that Googlers have said, both in conferences, on blog posts, on videos, and so forth over the past couple of years around doing well with AI in search, or just generative AI in general. And it basically says do SEO and so forth. It includes guidance to help you focus on what matters the most when it comes to SEO and generative AI features, including myth busting, some common misconceptions, guidance on the importance of providing unique non-commodity content, as the folks over on John Mueller's team wrote on LinkedIn. There's a whole thing in here. You can go through it, but as you can imagine, this is causing a lot of debate across the SEO industry or AEO industry. There's a lot of myth bustings that really upset a lot of people, including stuff around you don't need LMLS.txt, you don't need special markup, you don't need to chunk your data, no offense, Morty. You don't need to rewrite content for AI systems. You don't need to seek inauthentic mentions. And you shouldn't over-focus on structured data. So there's a lot of stuff here that is really bothering a segment of the SEO, AEO, GEO community. But, Google has a different take on this than usually Microsoft, Bing. So it's fun to see this. It's been a really interesting weekend with people talking about this over the weekend.
What's the biggest hot topic one, Barry? Biggest chatter.
The biggest chatter. Like basically saying you just need to do basic SEO to do well, I think. And GEOs are saying, no, you don't need to do, you need to do it separate. It's totally different. You need to hire our GEO firm to do it for you, not SEO companies.
Of course.
I think Morty was most upsetting about chunking because
I'm a big fan of chunking. I just have headers on all my pages. I don't have anything else.
I don't know. And there's all these like little hacks people have been doing for a while, like listicles and so forth, that tend to work for a little bit and then don't. But again, I mean, this is just SEO from like 20 years ago, starting all over again.
Yeah, we're just going to fight against Google. Like Google's lying and
and also, I know I'm the voice of reason here, but if these things,
okay,
get out of here. I'm not the voice of reason. I feel like I'm the voice of reason for this show.
Sure.
That's reason. Tell us what it is.
I think if these things are working for you, you don't look at this and make any changes, right? Like one of my favorite things I'm obsessed with right now is GarageGymReviews.com. The content is substantially chunked. It is phenomenal. It's broken up by value. It's broken up by features. You look at the site, it's amazing. So if you have certain things, it's like, here's budget. Here's best in class. Here's no weights associated with it, whatever. Like, if it's working for you, working for your users, good. You're doing a good job. Stay the course.
I have a client that actually sends their whole entire message in the email in the subject line. Chunks. He's been chunking since like for the past 30 years in email.
Sorry, what? The
whole entire body message just goes into the subject line. That's how he emails me. He doesn't know how to use email.
I like the cut of his jib.
But from now on, all Search Engine Roundtable blog posts are just one long stream of content with now pictures, no headlines, no nothing. It's just a stream of content. So I think that's the best way of going forward. But if you want to go ahead and spam Google you can go ahead and do that. And you can't do that anymore, especially around AI responses. Google updated its spam policies at the top of the paragraph, basically saying featuring content prominently, such as attempting to manipulate search rankings, search systems into ranking content highly, or attempting to manipulate generative AI responses in Google search is against their guidelines. So Morty, stop with the AI spam. Google says it's not allowed anymore.
AI spam. People need to stop AI spamming on Slack. That's what
Yeah. Any social. It's like social's like swarming with AI spam. Anyway, let's move on to ads because it's just much calmer there. Or is it?
Yeah, this one
Be
is a
reasonable, Greg. Be reasonable.
look. Barry is very straightforward reporting. No hot takes. I'd say Morty, all hot takes. I feel like I'm in the middle
Do I
on
know
the SEO side. On the SEO side,
Um,
Anu is the voice of reason for PPC.
agree.
But Anu, we might need your voice on this one because Google is changing the way the conversion actions could be reporting, at least on the enhanced predictions side of things. It's very, very complicated to explain how conversions work to a lay person. I would say you have a primary conversion that you can either optimize towards or you can't. You have a secondary conversion that you cannot optimize towards, but you can track, and that will come in as an all conversion. If you have the primary conversion set to be optimized towards, it will show up in your conversions. If not, it'll show up in your all conversions. So it's very, very difficult to explain that. But essentially, there is a big change, I would say, here where they updated the about primary and secondary conversion actions, saying primary conversion actions not used for optimization may be used to enhance predictions. So when you look at your conversion reports, it seems that any predictions that you have out there, and Google's been trying to do this a little bit more. Sometimes it's wildly bad, at least when it first came out. It seems better now. And obviously with enhanced conversions, things like that, it's a little bit different ballgame. But those can now be used. So for a good example, we have a client that has big orders that come in kind of via inquiry, a HubSpot form, and then they have web orders are typically much smaller, right? So if I'm optimizing towards my web orders and that's it, and I just want e-commerce and I want return on ad spend, it's now going to be using even those form submissions and the value that gets associated with those into the predictions for how the account's working, which I think is stupid. I think it's incredibly stupid. If I'm looking at a primary conversion and I want to see what I'm optimizing for, I don't care about the other stuff. So don't give me that prediction. There are also some other items they updated demand gen to say, you want to tag all the shallower conversion options to set the learning up faster, make it a goal as non-biddable. So that seems like they're trying to say primary, or you always want to have something as a secondary conversion. And then lastly, they said that primary conversion actions not used for optimization may be used to enhance predictions and the conversion goals side of things. So I think this is a very confusing thing. Conversions are already super confusing, as you've heard. And I would just like to see predictions for what I am optimizing for and nothing else.
What's weird is I reached out like when this like Friday morning, like to Ginny, like, is this something new? Because nobody, the discrepancy of when the change was made to the document versus what was in the Wayback Machine goes back a long time. I don't know when this change happened exactly. So is this something that Google's been doing for a long time and just updated documentation just to like reflect this is what's been happening? Or is it a new change to how primary conversions in fact enhance predictions? And I'm not sure.
Yeah, and there's been rumors. I mean, you hear a lot of things from Google reps, a lot of things right, a lot of things wrong. You don't have some of the most seasoned folks in some of those positions, unfortunately. You just can't do it. People have been saying that some of those can be signals. So you hear a lot of things. It'd be great to get actually a real, like, explain it like I'm 5 answer from Google on this stuff. It's showing me the predictions. Okay. Are you going to count the predictions as the conversions when I'm looking at these metrics? Because I'm only going towards the ones that I have associated with that campaign, and other campaigns is different. It's just a PR disaster. It's just the PR team gets on it and you just can't figure anything out.
That was so fair and balanced, Greg. You were fair and balanced.
I know. That was great. To both sides of the story.
Always.
And this is
Very good.
trash.
Anyway, if you want to bring in some of those conversion metrics from offline conversions into Google Ads API, you may not be able to soon. right?
You might not be able to, because now all words leads to the data manager API that Google released earlier in the year. So yeah, if you've been using Google Ads API for your offline conversions from about June the 15th, you're not going to be able to do that anymore. So yeah, Google like last week notified like some developers that any offline conversion imports using the upload click conversions request will stop working after June 15th, and especially for the accounts that have not used the functionality in the last 180 days. So yeah, hopefully that shouldn't make it be a bother. So yeah, Google is just going in the email push the whole fact that the data manager API is going to help to unify data ingestion for sending data to Google with the improved developer experience and access to additional features. Yeah, so new features are going to probably keep coming, even in Google Marketing Live on Thursday, which will be fun. Thursday, Wednesday, 20th. This week.
Wednesday.
2 days. All right. And then I/O is coming, and everybody's thinking there's a lot of rumors out there about what's going on with AI mode or what's going on with feature and search. And Morty has all the answers.
I have all the answers. First, I just want to say, Andrew, if you could be a little bit more fair and balanced like Greg in your PPC coverage, I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
Second is,
I apologize.
Yeah. No, but you seem to be happy about it. Barry Schwartz did a poll and people responded, which I think is really the news here. And he asked, is AI mode going to replace Google search? I mean, at I/O, are they going to announce like, here comes AI mode? And 66% of respondents, which is basically like 300 something people on LinkedIn and like 3 people on X, said no. Not happening, which I agree with. Like that, they're not like, they seem totally confused and disorganized of what the heck to do with this thing. I predict more ads. Lots of talk about more ads.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll announce that at I/O.
They're not going to announce it at I/O.
No, I don't think so.
No, I mean they got to monetize it. They can't just.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
so
saying.
Google
They're gonna
Marketing
talk
Live,
more about ads, and they're
they will.
ads.
At GML, they will for sure. I think you're right about the biggest news on this piece is that I don't know how I got almost like 900 votes on LinkedIn and like 60 on Twitter, on X. It's usually the opposite. So I don't know what's going on there. But
I said 300. I'm sorry. It's closer to 900. Fuzzy math.
You
No,
got
it's almost
numbers.
like-
You should start your own little poly market in your LinkedIn.
I should. That's a good idea. Make some money.
Can you super follow on LinkedIn? I'd pay you if I could on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn, there's a super follow?
No. I mean,
I still pay for your tweets. It hasn't happened in 3 years. I get a
Big
bill for $4
biggest scam in the
every month.
biggest scam in the SEO community because I never share any like super follow
Yeah, it was
tweets.
shared since I don't know 2023.
Maybe I'll share
I'm
something
sitting
for
here
you.
paying $4 a month.
you know
for
what
it
you
and
get
then
with
I
super
see-
follow? You get one extra volatility chart that no one else gets access to.
Now I feel bad. I'm gonna go share something for Greg. I'm not sure what. All right, everyone, have a great day. We're back tomorrow with more. It's new, and then I/O is coming up shortly after that. So stay tuned for the big week on I/O and Google Marketing Live, and then of course XMX Boston. Yes, you don't want to miss us. We're gonna be there doing our thing. Yada yada yada. Yay.
Fair and balanced, voice of reason. See us
Yeah.
live.
It's really fair and balanced. Oh God.
All right. Bye bye.